Hi guys, we're at the Guitar Summit here in Mannheim with the very famous Bob Taylor. And first I wanted to compliment you on the Gold Label series, because that is really an improvement on, I mean, they were great to start with, but...
You don't need any qualifiers on that. I always say we just want guitars to be better.
Yeah, and they are.
And we don't try to look in the rearview mirror. These guitars are they're a big accomplishment of Andy Powers.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, obviously he's the designer. But I have one thing that I wanted to share with the public.
Okay.
Because when I visited you a few years ago in San Diego, after a lecture that you gave, we were standing outside having a beer, and you said, when I die, I will have planted more trees than I cut up to make guitars.
Oh yeah.
So are you still standing by that thing? Because that impressed me so much that I thought, okay, this guy really understands. Obviously, he made a lot of videos about that, Crelicam and all these things. But it really, I think this is very fitting to the times we're living in right now. So, do you still stand by that statement?
I sure do, and I spend a lot of my own personal money on it because I've made money using things like ebony, koa, whatever, and where I can, I do. So, as of now, we've planted well over 40,000 koa or 40,000 ebony trees in Cameroon, and it's climbing every year. There more are going in, and we're getting better at it too. So the rate of increase should be very, very good. And those trees we don't own. We pay people that live in a community in a bush village to plant those trees. They get money to plant them and to take care of them for 5 years. They graduate from our program and those trees are theirs.
So you give them a livelihood, basically.
Yes, yeah. we help them out. Well, a key thing to that is that koa tree, or that, I'm sorry, because I'm going to talk about koa in a minute. That ebony tree is going to have a return some generations from now.
So how long do they need to grow?
Nobody knows, but I think 100 years.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to believe that we're the first people that have studied that tree. And we've been getting some scientific papers published. We've tied the African elephant to the ebony tree. Now, what helps them in the meantime? We've taught them and given them, we've planted about 30,000 fruit trees. So we've taught them how to farm fruit by grafting, getting fruit quicker. They're local fruits that become a food source, so food security is really a big thing. Cool. Then we go all the way to Hawaii, and we've planted that many koa trees. I bought a piece of property that I leased to our company for $100 a year.
Wow.
Our company that we have in Hawaii, that is a partnership of Taylor Guitars and Pacific Rim Tonewoods, our wood supplier.
Yeah.
Now at the end of this is a $100 a year lease of 564 acres. That's 200 hectares, okay?
That's a lot, yeah.
Yes. We're putting 150,000 koa trees on that property, and we're about a third of the way done. 5 more years and it'll be all planted out.
But they have a shorter life, or I mean, they're
30 years they can become guitars.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes 20.
Because of the climate, obviously, or
it's just the nature of the tree.
Okay.
Well, I like to say right tree, right location. So koa trees grow in Hawaii, ebony trees grow in... Well, koa is an acacia, and the species of acacia, if you, for example, we've made guitars, of like, say, Tasmanian blackwood, our blackwood.
Yeah.
That's an acacia too. The species is Acacia melanoxylon, okay? The species of the acacia in Hawaii is called Acacia koa. That's its Latin name.
Yeah.
Okay? And it only grows there. And it's different than the blackwood. You know the difference. The koa is a different tone, it's a different look, but they're both an acacia tree.
Yeah.
Like there's different types of spruce trees.
Yeah.
Adirondack spruce, Sitka spruce, German spruce.
Yeah,
right?
Super interesting.
So, anyways, these are the ones we're planting. We're improving the species. We're developing trees that are resistant to the fusarium wilt that kills koa right now, and those are what we're planting. And we figured out that if we get seed or even make a clone from a tree that has known figure in it, that clone
that's clever.
will have that figure. We've grown
yeah?
trees and done destructive testing, and it has the same figure.
Wow.
Then we can make clones from those trees.
That's
How
a
do you?
gene thing, probably then.
It's a gene thing.
Genetic thing.
Then we can grow that tree and take seed from it, cross-pollinate it with other trees. We like seed. We don't really like clones. We get the variety in there. We don't want a monoculture. So we're doing that. We're doing it with gusto still today.
Yeah.
It's more than when we talked before.
One last thing before we go, or before you have to go, is that you also reintroduced or introduced actually clouded ebony, because I saw that you told the story about people only wanted to have the real black ebony, and then 90% of the ebony trees were like rotting on the forest floor. And now it's actually becoming a bonus thing that you have like a figuring on the neck or on the fingerboard. So that is, I think, also an accomplishment, because 90% of koa trees going to waste is really a shame. I mean, it's really a waste.
When we first bought this sawmill, we bought it with our partners, with a supplier in Spain called Medinter.
Yeah.
They sell guitar woods to all these guitar people, and we went in this partnership on this sawmill, and that's when I heard that from the suppliers. By a supplier, I mean people that we have a permit to cut the wood. They're able to use our permit to go get our quota. So they go out and cut. They bring the wood back to us. How's it going? I say, they go, oh, it's rough, sir. How come? Well, because, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 10 trees is black. What do you do with the others? Well, we leave them there. Why don't you bring them in? Because you won't buy them. Well, the other guy wouldn't buy them. I'll buy them. But, sir, you won't be able to sell the guitars. I said, well, now we will.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, we will.
Yeah, it's a big advantage, or let's say a disadvantage, turning into an advantage, more or less, or more interesting looking guitar.
Well, of course. And I think that we can use this brand name right here, Taylor, and maybe my gumption sometime to change the way things are.
Yeah.
Because I said, I'm going to make my guitars with this, and if someone decides they don't want to buy a Taylor guitar because of this, well, then maybe they didn't want a Taylor guitar anyway, because this isn't a reason to not buy it. And it turned out that people loved it because all we had to do was communicate.
And persuade them to look at it different
Just
way.
offer it to them. Yeah.
But the thing is, obviously you will be remembered for your guitars, but also about these things that we just spoke about, because I think that is, in the long run, maybe even a bigger accomplishment to reforest and to really make sure that this is a long-term thing and not just...
It's longer lasting, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I like to do things, I say, maybe as a demonstration project, to demonstrate to other people it could be done.
Yeah.
Who are those other people? Stakeholders in the logging industry, maybe other big companies that are using resources, and it's, I don't have to say it, I just show it, that if this small guitar company from California can replant ebony or replant koa with some determination, not too much money, it's an investment.
It's a win-win.
Then somebody else could do it too.
Yeah.
So here's my hope. Right now, this is big news that I'm planting tree. My hope for the world is that one day it's common news and nobody's interested. We wouldn't make a video about
everybody does that
because
nowadays.
it happens every day and it's common. That's my hope.
Yeah. Well, I thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
It was really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.